Hello and welcome to Brainy Gardener. Today it is all about how to grow and care for the Cyclamen Persicum. Cyclamen Persicum is a flowering plant often referred to as Persian Cyclamen or Florist Cyclamen. You can find it all over the regions of Turkey, Syria, Palestine, and Lebanon. It's also commonly found growing in Algeria and Tunisia and on some islands of Greece. They are incredibly popular among florists for their showy flowers and gorgeous foliage, breathing life into any indoor garden. The flowers come in pink, red, and white colors and stand out beautifully against the rounded dark green leaves with gray-green markings. These plants can be cultivated either indoors in pots or outdoors in zones 10 and 11. Many cyclamen bloom in the winter because they need low temperatures to do so. The cyclamen is a winter flower that usually blooms between December and February. Cyclamen persicum requires an environment with indirect light and cold temperatures. Try not to expose them to direct sunlight or hot environments because this can easily cause their health to deteriorate. A north-facing windowsill will make an excellent location for them as it gets filtered sun throughout most days but remains chilly at night. When planted outdoors, filtered light is the most desirable. The best watering time for this plant is when the soil is dry. Don't allow it to become soggy. It should feel moist to the touch after a watering session. The key to watering your plants is making sure none of the water gets on the stems or the leaves, especially the crown, as that is the most sensitive part. Water the roots directly. There are many methods for watering this way. Pick one that suits your needs and stick to it. The ideal temperature range for Cyclamen persicum is between 50 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. The flowers will typically last longest when the temperature is at the lower end of the range at night. In addition, the plant's leaves may turn yellow or brown if the temperature is too high, whereas in low temperatures it may not flower at all. The best way to ensure that it thrives is to keep the temperature somewhere within the recommended range throughout the year. In general, the plants grow better at moderate humidity levels. One of the best ways to keep your plants happy is by providing enough humidity but not too much. If you live in a naturally dry location, you can fill a container with wet gravel and place the pot on top to slightly combat the dryness. Florist cyclamen do need fertilizer, but not too much. Use a low-nitrogen fertilizer or phosphorus plant food for your plant every 2 weeks when in active growth. Stop when it enters dormancy in the summer. Cyclamen persicum can be propagated by seeds and division. The seeds need to be fresh, and they can germinate on average within a month after planting. Try to soak the seeds for 10 hours before sowing for the best results. Maintain temperature around 6 to 4 degrees Fahrenheit, and don't let the seeds get exposed to light. Division by tubers poses some challenges because these plants can rot quite easily. By dividing the tuber in the fall, you can propagate the plant. However, you should be aware that since cut tubers might rot, propagating cyclamen plants can be difficult. It takes a lot of persistence and patience. Most gardeners usually get a new Persian cyclamen from a nursery before blooming season to avoid all the hassle. The same plant can generally last for over 20 years if cared for properly. Cyclamen persicum should be potted in a container with adequate drainage holes to prevent rotting after watering. Remember that cyclamen prefers well-drained soil, preferably filled with loam-based compost. Don't try to repot until the summer dormancy is over. After gently removing it from the pot, place it in a well-draining soil mix. Don't start watering straight away. Wait until you see new leaves beginning to form. Remember to be very careful if you're a pet owner. Keep in mind that cyclamen is toxic to humans, cats, dogs, and horses. This plant contains a toxin that can be harmful if ingested or chewed by pets. Cyclamen persicum is susceptible to cyclamen mites and spider mites when relative humidity is too low. Plants infected with these annoying creatures must be disposed of because they're incredibly challenging to get rid of. Other than that, you might get the occasional outbreak of aphids, mealybug, or thrips. Use standard pesticides to get rid of them.